So we have ourselves a winner from the European International Championships. Gustavo Wada won that particular event with this Rapid Strike Urshifu list. I know that in the last video I mentioned that I thought that perhaps Frank Persic would win with Whimsicott, but in the end, proving Gustavo to be one of the best players in the world, manages to win with Rapid Strike Urshifu despite having weakness. Let's talk through the deck and how it works, and obviously we'll play a couple of games with it as well. Rapid Strike Urshifu, a very popular card for a very long time now. It's a 330 HP fighting type VMAX Pokemon with two really strong attacks for a single fighting energy. Gale Thrust does 30 damage, plus you deal an extra 120 if your Rapid Strike Urshifu has moved into the active on that turn. So that means 150 damage for one energy. Very strong. And then Gmax Rapid Flow is arguably the best attack that the card has for two fighting and a colorless energy. You deal 120 damage to two of your opponent's Pokemon and then discard all energy from Urshifu. This means that you can set up some really good knockouts with Gale Thrust into Gmax Rapid Flow to try and take multiple prizes on the same turn. Now, Gustavo only plays two copies of Gmax Urshifu, Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. What am I talking about? He only plays two copies of those two cards because he's elected to also include a Galarian Moltres Dark package. This Malevolent Charge Moltres is a 120 HP Dark type basic Pokemon, and it's one of the best counters to Mew VMAX that we currently have in the game. Malevolent Charge means Malevolent Charge. I can barely speak at the moment, means that you attach up to two dark energy from your hand to this Moltres when you play it onto the bench, and that means for a single attachment you can then use the attack Fiery Wrath. That deals 20 damage plus 50 more for every prize that your opponent has taken. If you can force your opponent to have taken 3, 4, or even 5 prizes, this Moltres can potentially take some big knockouts, and it is definitely a very strong attacker, especially since it is worth only one prize itself. Gustavo also elected to use the Galarian Moltres V, 220 HP basic Dark-type V Pokemon with Dire Flame Wings. Once during your turn, you can put a Dark Energy card from your discard pile onto your Galarian Moltres V, and that's a very good way to power up your Aura Burn attack, 190 damage for 2 Dark and a colorless, and then you deal 30 damage to yourself as well. Again, 190 damage is enough to put a lot of pressure on a bunch of different Pokemon, especially on Mew VMAX. You can take a knockout with this card. One of the other interesting things about this list, and it's something that a lot of Rapid Strike Urshifu decks are doing at the moment, is that they are playing a whole bunch of weird supporter cards. The deck has 2 copies of Avery, for example. Draw 3 cards, and then your opponent needs to discard down discard their bench until they have 3 Pokemon in play. A very interesting supporter card. We have Cheryl, which heals all damage from each evolution Pokemon in play whilst discarding their energy. There's Clara here, which works in combination with our Galarian Moltres. What Clara does is it allows us to pick up 2 Pokemon from our discard pile and 2 basic energy, meaning that we can theoretically get a Moltres into play out of nowhere. There's Piers here as well. Search your deck for an energy card and a dark Pokemon. That can be really good to pick up our Moltres, or we could even use it to find a Crobat V to try and draw some more cards. Dark Asset means that when we play Crobat onto the bench, we draw until we have 6 cards in our hand, and we can also use that Piers to search for Rapid Strike Energy, a really good energy card that we don't necessarily have a way to search for in the deck at the moment. We also have Raihan, which allows us to attach an energy to a Pokemon from our discard pile if one of our Pokemon was knocked out last turn, and then if we do that, we can search our deck for any card that we like, a very strong effect. Plus, we also have Sonia, which is really strong to try and find basic Pokemon or basic energy, where you can use Sonia to search out 2 dark energy in order to use our Galarian Moltres, or we can use it in the early game to set up our bench with a bunch of different Pokemon. ultimately, this deck has a lot going on. I've barely scratched the surface as to what this thing can do, but to be honest, it's probably better that we just take it out onto the ladder and I show you exactly how this particular deck works. I tell you what, Gustavo's got to be good to play this. It's pretty strong. Into our first game, and unfortunately, we have started with Galarian Moltres in the active. We don't generally like to have that as our starter. We would much prefer have access to a Sobble. Now, luckily, we were given a nice mulligan, which has put the Sobble into our hand, so we can play that down and then potentially utilize its Keep Calling attack next turn. And it looks to me like we are playing up against Arceus Gyarados, which is a very, very interesting deck. Let's use Energy Search here. We're going to grab ourselves a Dark Energy and attach that to our Sobble. We'll also Escape Rope to put our Sobble into the active. We're just going to keep calling here. We want to get as many different Pokemon onto our bench as we can, and Keep Calling allows us to search our deck for 3 Rapid Strike Pokemon and put them onto our bench. I'm thinking we'll probably grab a couple of Sobble and a Rapid Strike Urshifu, although to be fair, it depends, of course, what we have in our deck. If we have a couple of Sobble prized, we might find ourselves in an awkward spot, so we'll just wait and see. Our opponent's taking a bit of time here to try and decide what Pokemon they want to put into the active. I think us moving this Arceus to the bench is just generally a very good thing as well. So hopefully they decide soon so that we can perform our Keep Calling. Otherwise, the hand is not too bad. They've gone with the Crobat here. So we're going to attach our energy and then use Keep Calling. And looks like we do have 2 Sobbles and an Urshifu. Very, very nice. Our hand's really good here. We've got Drizzile. We've got Evolution Incense that we can use to search out Urshifu VMAX if we'd like to. The big issue that we have at the moment is we don't have the energy, unfortunately, with no way to get it apart from perhaps using Professor's Research. We need to search for that with a Drizzile if that is the direction that we choose to go in. But yeah, our opponent now with a bit of an interesting decision to make. What are they going to do with their Arceus VSTAR? They can search for any 2 cards in the deck here. And it looks like they're going to discard a Research to grab themselves another Bidoof. That is very strange. Obviously relying on their VSTAR ability here to find a supporter. I'm not sure why they would discard the Research though. That seems a little bit grim, but hey, I'm not here to cast judgment. We're just gonna let it go. I'm sure they know what they're doing. Starbirth here will grab them, probably a way to draw cards and a switch mechanic. 2 cards that are going to be important for them this turn. Looks like they've gone for a Barrel here and an Escape Rope. Okay, well, we will throw forward, I guess, just another... well, let's go for the Moltres. We don't care about the Moltres, really. Have that discarded, and it means that Clara will be a powerful card in the late game if that Moltres is in the discard pile, so don't mind that so much. And it means that we can use 3 Drizziles if we'd like to. Getting Marnied here is a bit painful. We know that we lose a Drizzile for sure, but we'll wait and see. I'm sure that our hand will be fine. Level Ball and Evo Incense is good. Plus, we've got Rapid Strike Energy as well. Our opponent takes the knockout on the Moltres and will power up their Gyarados. But you know what? I think we're going to be fine here. Taking a knockout on Arceus VSTAR is not a problem. We will lose the energy, though, because of that Gyarados' Hyper Beam attack. I'm sure that's what they're going to be trying to do. Okay, well, we've just been Marnied into a really, really good hand here. I don't think this is a problem at all. We're going to go for Drizzile here. We will Shady Dealings and we'll search for a trainer card. I'm thinking we're going to grab ourselves a Scoop Up Net. Let's double check the Pokemon that we have. We do have Urshifu in there, which is good. We will Evo Incense and grab that Urshifu now. We need to make sure that the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX is in play before we scoop the Drizzile up, because it only works with its first attack if you have moved the VMAX into the active. Sometimes people get caught out because they move the V and then evolve it, and fortunately that's not the way that this card works. So now we're in a good spot here. I don't think we really want to play a supporter per se. We might go for a Drizzile now though, just to give ourselves access to the Inteleon. Let's have a think. This is the tough part with these kind of decks. There's so many different cards that I can use. So many different one-offs as well. I'm just not sure what the best choice is. I don't really need anything this turn. Avery could be a good call. They'll just get rid of the Crobat though. I want to leave that there. Maybe Tower of Waters. I'm going to search for anything next turn. Maybe Piers. We could grab a Crobat of our own. Maybe research for next turn. Oh my goodness. What are we going to get? Oh, I'm getting timed out. Okay. Let's just get ourselves, let's just get Piers. We'll just get Piers and we'll leave it at that. Let's play that card, and we're going to grab ourselves a Crobat, and we will also grab, I think... Actually, we could potentially grab the Moltres here. I like that. We'll grab ourselves Rapid Strike Energy as well. That way, we've got access to a bunch of energy next turn. We can Diaflame Wings. Put that energy there, and then I'll attach a Rapid Strike Energy to the active, and Gale Thrust will take 2 prizes. I'm going to put the Rapid Strike on because I'm going to try and force our opponent, well, not force them, but encourage them to use the Gyarados' Hyper Beam attack. If they do that, then we will theoretically be in a good position in the next couple of turns. We'll wait and see how we go. We'll wait and see. This is the thing with this deck though, right, is that if you are a very strong player, and you're capable of seeing all these lines before they happen, then you will do very well. And Gustavo Wada, being a very, very good player, can spot these lines a mile away. Myself, not so much. I'm not quite as strong. Here's the Hyper Beam. So exactly what I thought would happen is happening, which is good. They're going to discard the energy, and now we can get ourselves going with our Inteleon. I'm thinking we're going to grab an Energy Switch here, maybe even a Boss. Seems like a pretty good idea. There's our Energy Switch. We'll grab that. We might be able to scoop up net. I like that too. That seems good. We'll grab the scoop up net because we can grab the Boss anyway. Just means that next turn we've got access to another Inteleon, which I really like. So we will Drizzile. We'll play that Drizzile down. And then we'll go and find ourselves our boss's orders. Now we've got access to a knockout on the Crobat. We'll bring that into the active. We will attach... actually, let's we get Energy Switch our Dark Energy to the active, and then attach the Rapid Strike Energy. We can also Quick Ball away our Inteleon. We don't really care too much about that. I'll grab another Urshifu just in case. Actually, no, we'll grab the Moltres now. Let's grab the Moltres. The Moltres seems good. Moltres seems good, right? This seems fine. We could just get Crobat. Too many choices again. Too many choices. Let's just grab the Urshifu and we'll play it down and we'll see what happens. It's gonna be fine. G-Max Rapid Flow. Hit the Crobat in the active. Hit the barrel on the bench. Take 3 prizes in a turn, and also cripple our opponents. Their consistency engine, which is very, very good. Scoop up net, very good for us also. I like that. Grabbing 3 prizes here. And now we are in a very good position. If we can utilize the Inteleon here and put that into the active, search out our second Urshifu VMAX, attach the energy. We just need a boss's orders. We can knock out the Bidoof on the bench, and that will win us the game. There's also, theoretically, a Moltres play that we might be able to make. All depends on what our opponent is going to do here. We are going to get rid of our Sobble. We don't need that. Get rid of that because of the, what is it, the stadium? The collapsed stadium. Bit of a hard word to say. Collapsed. Don't know why I'm struggling with that one. And then they max Tyrant for 3 prizes. Okay, so let's see if I can work my way through this. We should be able to win this game. All I have to do is make sure that I don't stuff it up. Alrighty, so we've got the Drizzile in the active. We are going to evolve into our Inteleon. Then we Shady Dealings. We grab 2 trainers. One of them is going to be an Evo Incense, and the other is going to be a Palpad. We definitely need that. I think that's all we really need this turn. We can Evo Incense, grab ourselves a Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, evolve our Urshifu on the bench, and then attach a Fighting Energy. We will play the Palpad, put the boss and the peers back into the deck. Then we can scoop up the Inteleon in the active, It's all working out now. I figured it out. We've done things. We put the Urshifu in the active. Then we grab the Drizzile. Get ourselves the boss that we just put back into the deck. And then we can gust out the Bidoof. Victory. I can't believe we got there. Okay, let's have another game here. We'll see how we go. We've got our opponent playing. It looks like it's going to be a mirror. We'll see how we go. We've got an Urshifu, which is good. We can put that onto the bench. No problems. And then attach and keep calling. Seems like a pretty strong place to be. We have Drizzile in hand, plus we have Urshifu VMAX. We're looking pretty good. Now, you'll notice that the arts on these cards are slightly different. The reason for that is because this is recorded after the game that I played before. I'm actually on a different account for this one. I'm just recording on a different account. Things are working out differently. You don't need to know all the nitty-gritty details, but the fact of the matter is, the games will happen. So just accept the games are going to happen. I don't know why you're getting so upset about it, frankly. Anyway, here we go. Let's see what we can do. We're playing against Higa-chan, and they are playing Rapid Strike Urshifu as well. They're going to go for the keep calling, which I don't necessarily mind. And we'll wait and see what happens here. Looks like they're going to grab themselves Persimmon, which I'm very interested in. That escape rope is interesting too. We've got a whole bunch we can do here. I think we'll just start off by going for the Drizzile. We'll search our deck for a trainer. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can grab here. Let's go for... What do we got? We've got so many options. There's just all these one-offs. Oh, I can't use my brain. Let's see. I think it's probably fine to go for oh, what's the best thing to do? Go for like a Piers or something. Let's go for the Piers, I think. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so Piers will allow us to grab a couple of things. Firstly, it'll allow us to grab ourselves a copy of our double Rapid Strike Energy, which we want. We've got the Urshifu, we've got the escape rope, and we've got the energy switch in our hands. So we can kind of create some chaos here if we get ourselves a G-Max Rapid Flow off this turn. And we could theoretically do it. So let's evolve into our Urshifu. We will energy switch to the active. Then we'll play down our Piers. We'll grab Crobat. And we will grab Rapid Strike Urshifu. Energy Urshifu. Let's go with the G-Max Rapid Flow now. I'm thinking we're going to get rid of the Drizzile and also the Sobble. We won't target the one with the energy because Raihan is an option. We'll take a couple of prizes. We've got an Urshifu VMAX and a Scoop Up Net there. So Scoop Up Net there is a pretty good option. Like, it's pretty solid. We can potentially pick up the Drizzile that's in our bench, which I would like. We will be able to at least draw some more cards if we do that. Plus, we have Crobat as well. So, an interesting turn or two coming up. We have Energy Search as well, which is always good. Allow us to get a Gale Thrust off if we'd like. And our opponent now having less than an ideal bench with half of their Drizziles gone is good for us. It means that we've got flexibility, whereas our opponent doesn't necessarily. So I'm feeling relatively happy with this. It seems like we're in a good enough spot to carry this game on, but we will have, of course, to wait and see. Our opponent's taking a bit of time there to Drizzile. They're going to grab Energy Search and probably find themselves a Fighting Energy. This means that they'll at least be able to get an attack off and hit us for 150 damage. They're also going to Marnie, which is a bit tedious. It's a bit annoying. Going to lose some cards here, but it's okay. We'll be fine. This hand is not good. This hand is not good. This hand is not good. Okay, hopefully we top deck into something good. We do not. Okay, this is grim. This is very grim. What are we going to do about this? Good grief. Okay, so we've got like nothing to work with here. We can't Gale Thrust for any more than 30 damage. We might just do it to put ourselves like in a position where maybe we can G-Max Rapid Flow next turn. We could like boss and bring something into the active, but they can just retreat all of their Pokemon for free, which we don't necessarily want to do. Just grab that fighting energy. We might place this Urshifu onto the bench. Maybe that could be the way to go. Maybe we just sacrifice the active and hope for the best. Let's go for this. We'll see if this works. We will retreat into the Urshifu, and then we'll be able to strafe. Oh, pardon me. Strafe for 30 damage. We can chuck one of our Pokemon into the active. I think it's probably fine to just put. I mean, we could put the Urshifu. We could just leave it in the active, right? We don't need to move it. We could just leave the Urshifu in the active. I think it's probably... we'd probably put the VMAX up there. Doesn't really matter. If they knock the VMAX out, then of course they take 3 prizes, but we can Raihan, which is good. Looks, though, like they might be going for a G-Max Rapid Flow of their own, which would be very annoying for us, but at least we have access to Raihan. If they do that, we can get our board going a little bit better than it currently is. There's the knockout, so they're going to get 2 prizes on their side of the field as well. This is a very interesting game that we're playing. We've got Raihan now. We've got a Dark Energy too. So we can theoretically power up our Moltres if we want to. We don't need to. Let's go with the Raihan. I think Raihan is correct. Let's see. Yeah, let's go for the Raihan. We're going to put a Dark Energy from the discard pile onto our Urshifu in the active, and then I think it's probably time to just grab our energy. We can kind of create an awkward spot here for our opponent if we G-Max Rapid Flow and take a couple of good hits here, remove their Drizzile. That's their entire draw engine gone, and now we've also put ourselves in a spot where they are half hit with their Urshifu in the active. It's going to be difficult for them to come back, and they're mining us again. Okay, cool. So we might draw into some better cards here. I would really appreciate another card that is better than the one that we have. These are not better, but research at least can do something for us. Chances of our opponent actually being able to do anything this turn, relatively slim. They can hit into us for 150, maybe 180, if they have a choice belt. Doesn't look like they have it, so they're just going to concede 2 wins. That's pretty good. So there you have it, Gustavo Wada's list in action. It is very strong, but very, it requires you to use your brain, which I'm not particularly good with. Thanks to these people over here, these people over here for being members. Appreciate it. If you'd like to support the channel, then like, subscribe, become a member if you so choose. And if you want to see a deck that is equally powerful, something that's quite strong, then consider checking out this. This is a bit of a shameless self-promotion for my top 8 list. Arceus Inteleon, obviously not great to play that at the moment with Urshifu around, but hey, you never know, you might enjoy it. It's got a Dunsparce. Have a crack, see how you go.